Welcome back, and we are in full bull market mode. How do we know that? Well, we're already seeing companies like medical device maker Semler Scientific making a $40 million investment into Bitcoin. This after Congress just passed a bill that's going to be going to the Senate and then hopefully going to get passed that basically, redefines what crypto is and what the regulatory oversight is going to be. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but Cryptoviser, the markets have not pumped. We're not seeing $250,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin. But guys, there is a lot going on in the markets. There's a lot to cover. And as I've explained, now that there's a lot more diversification in crypto, with Bitcoin going into different companies, the likes of MicroStrategy, Bitcoin mining companies, and a lot of different cryptos. I mean, literally over 20,000 different cryptos. There is a lot more diversification of where the money is going. So in previous cycles, Bitcoin was really the only one. I mean, if you go back to 2017, Bitcoin before it forked, it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That's it. And then as Bitcoin started to fork, you started to see altcoins starting to pop up. And we went from 3 cryptos to where we are today at 20,000 cryptos. So where all of the money, all of the funds, all of the inflows would go into just 3 cryptos, now they're going into 20,000 cryptos, and also stocks that are proxies for crypto. So we have to understand this cycle and understand that this cycle is different than previous cycles. There's a lot of people that still think, but Cryptoviser, this crypto's going up because last time it was this at the all-time high. And I'm like, well, this time it may not go that high. And those people and those influencers and those holders that are saying that are literally bag holders that are trying to offload their assets. We are here to make money, and we are now in the bull market. BITFARMS is now basically rejecting a merger deal with Riot Platforms. Now, as you guys know, I have said previously, I even posted this on my X page. Follow me on x.com/the Cryptoviser. Link also down below in the description of this video. And by the way, this is the Cryptoviser podcast. We talk about everything crypto, blockchain, and investing. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss a new video. Give the video a free thumbs up, because remember, crypto is not free, but thumbs up are always free. And one of the things that I've said is that I am more bullish on these Bitcoin mining companies than I am really on many big cryptos, because these proxies to Bitcoin are going to allow companies, pension funds, sovereign funds, wealth funds to invest in crypto in a regulated and safer manner than just, holding their own crypto and custodying their own coins. And so we have to understand how this all ties in. Now, BITFARMS is one of the large crypto mining companies, and effectively, we've been hearing that Riot Platforms and Marathon Digital are trying to merge or acquire other companies. As you guys see, Riot Platforms is worth $3 billion in market cap when I'm recording this video. And, BitFarms, on the other hand, so $3 billion compared to BitFarms, and BitFarms is 1.1 billion in Canadian, which is about $700 to $800 million US. So basically about 1/4 or 1/5 the size in market cap of Riot Platforms. So if Riot acquired BitFarms, it would put them in line with Marathon Digital, which is the largest Bitcoin mining company with $6 billion in market cap. And we're going to get to Marathon Digital in just a minute here, because they're doing some pretty big things as well. But effectively, BitFarms was offered a merger deal from Riot Platforms for approximately $2.30 per share. And they rejected this offer. Effectively, this would be a $950 million bailout, so a little bit higher than where the stock was, a few days before this announcement occurred. Obviously, the day that I'm recording this is when the announcement came out, so we see a little bit of a jump in the price of BitFarms. But if we zoom out to year to date, you can see that BitFarms is down on the year. So in February, the price was $3.50, almost $4. So why would BitFarms accept that offer? In my view, as a shareholder, I think that it's a terrible idea for BitFarms to take anything under $5, to be honest, probably even higher. And to be frank with you, this tells me that, number one, BitFarms is a good company, because why would Riot Platforms be trying to buy BitFarms if it wasn't a good company? Number two, this tells me that obviously BITFARMS understands where their worth is, and they're not just trying to, cash out. And we're in the beginning of a bull run, right? So this, if they can just hold out a little bit longer, which I would imagine that they are, most of these companies that were bankrupt or having issues with financing, they fixed this all up over the last year and a half, as we saw with Core Scientific. And now look at Core Scientific, $5. Now, we've been following Core Scientific since it was 5 cents in the previous stock before it was reissued after they came out of bankruptcy. But as I explained at the beginning of the year, there was some shares that were going to be released, I think in April and in May, for some of the creditors. And now that we're past those major unlocks of the stocks, we're starting to see Core Scientific moving much higher as well. This should be well over $1 billion in my view, and it's $881 million. So we're starting to see kind of like reshifting. We're starting to see where these companies value themselves. And from a Bitcoin mining perspective, I think that these companies are going to do extremely well this cycle. Now, Fred Thiel, who is the chairman and CEO of Marathon Digital, this is the largest Bitcoin mining company publicly traded in the United States. We just showed you $6 billion market cap. Just last week, they signed an agreement with Kenya, which was a historic deal for monetizing underutilized energy across Kenya and jointly developing technology projects. So now we see Marathon Digital kind of moving outside of the United States and into these other areas where there's immense room for growth. And they're going to be investing $80 million in this memorandum of understanding. The Kenyan government will establish a steering committee comprised of ministry officials and executives from Marathon to basically help build out infrastructure and optimize renewable energy projects within the country. And so without going into extensive detail about this, I mean, you guys can kind of, I think, hopefully you guys can put 2 and 2 together and figure out that clearly the Bitcoin mining space is I think a very highly undervalued space right now. Now, listen, guys, we're at the beginning of the bull market in my view. We have the presidential campaign starting to talk about Bitcoin and crypto, and this is going to cause competition in the political parties as well. We've already seen the SEC pivoting. Congress is starting to pivot as well. And so there are going to be inflows over this next year and a half, and it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes. And again, a lot of these Bitcoin mining companies, if you pull it out just year to date in 2024, most of them are down on the year. And so people always ask on Cryptoviser, is it too late? Is it too early? Do you think that it's going higher? I mean, it's like before the halving, these stocks were basically double where they are than where they are when I'm recording this video in effectively end of May, early June. So what do you think is going to happen, right? Maybe it will continue to go down. Maybe it'll continue to go higher. I don't know. But what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments of this video. And also another company that we've been talking about extensively on this channel is Griffin Mining. The average cost to mine Bitcoin currently is about $71,000. And the current price of Bitcoin when I'm recording this is about $68,000. This is when Rob Chang, this is the chairman and CEO and founder of Griffin Mining. He wrote, Griffin Mining mines at an average cost of $22,500 through the 12 months ending in March of this year. So that's a pretty good result. Now, keep in mind, Griffin Mining is a much smaller company. They have a much smaller operation. They're mining significantly less Bitcoin than those Bitcoin mining companies that we just discussed. But there's still opportunity to grow. And that is what I'm excited about. And that is why I am a holder of a lot of these Bitcoin mining companies. Now, this, by the way, none of this is financial advice. And let's kind of stick on that for 1 second, because I just want to be very clear with my viewers. This is a channel about my analysis of the markets. None of this is financial advice. I don't announce every trade that I make. A lot of people say, well, Cryptoviser, I thought that you didn't hold this coin, or you didn't hold this stock. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't is previous tense, right? It's past tense. What is going on today is different than what happened last cycle, last week, last month. This is about my analysis. And so this should be part of your research portfolio, but this cannot be your research for making investments. Never make investments based on what I say. All of these videos are delayed. So the information that you're receiving may not be up to date, and the information about what I'm doing may not be up to date either. And that is by design. You need to do your own research and don't make investment choices based on what I say. With that, Ryan Rasmussen, who is a research analyst or research employee at Bitwise Investments, one of the large funds that hold Bitcoin and big crypto ETFs, he said he spent 2 days in New York City speaking with hundreds of retirement investment advisors about Bitcoin. Here are the high-level takeaways. One is that clients are asking for Bitcoin and crypto exposure. Again, if you have if you're part of, let's say, JP Morgan, and that's where you have your investments, and you can't invest in crypto, call them up and ask them for it, right? If enough people ask for it, they're going to provide that service because that's what the customer wants, right? Many real estate, I keep saying real estate. Many retirement investment advisors are still in the due diligence phase. Most are considering 2 to 5% allocations, and some are considering up to 10% allocations. So they're still in due diligence phase. They haven't even started investing, regardless if it's in Bitcoin directly or in these Bitcoin ETFs. So the money that we're seeing flowing into these ETFs and into crypto, this is pre-Wall Street, pre-hedge funds, pre-retirement funds. And this is something very important to keep in mind because, again, we're starting to see the money trickling in. We're starting to see companies moving in a new direction as they understand that inflation is never going back down. The prices that we pay for things are never going back down. They're going to continue to rise. People around the world, companies and countries around the world are dropping the dollar. This is going to essentially dump dollars on the US, create more inflation. And I don't know what the solution to it is, but a lot of companies and people are looking at Bitcoin and cryptos as an alternative place to store your wealth. Medical device maker Semler Scientific stock rises 25% after a $40 million Bitcoin investment. So Semler Scientific disclosed that they purchased 581 Bitcoin for their treasury, sending the stock price up significantly. The sub $200 million market cap company held cash and equivalents of $62 million at the end of the first quarter, according to their earnings statement. It had first quarter revenue of $15.9 million and operating cash flow of $6.1 mil. So let's look this company up. SMLR. And while we're pulling that up, don't forget to give the video a free thumbs up. So yeah, you could see about a $200 million market cap over here. And let's pull up the 1-year chart. Yeah, it went up a little bit, about double where we are today, and then dropped in March. I don't know for what reason. And so there's still opportunity to move back higher. Now, their official announcement is here. It says they're a pioneer in developing and marketing technology products and services to healthcare providers that combat chronic disease. And they announced that their board of directors adopted a Bitcoin as its primary treasury reserve asset, not US dollars. Bitcoin is their primary. Primary is their first. They announced that they purchased 581 Bitcoin for about $40 million, including fees and expenses. They said our Bitcoin treasury strategy and purchase of Bitcoin underscore our belief that Bitcoin is a reliable store of value and a compelling investment. Bitcoin is now a major asset class with more than $1 trillion of market cap. We believe its unique characteristics as a scarce and finite asset that can serve as a reasonable inflation hedge and safe haven amid global instability. We also believe its digital architectural resilience makes it preferable to gold, which has a market value of approximately 10 times that of Bitcoin. Given the gap in value between gold and Bitcoin, we believe that Bitcoin has the potential to generate outsized returns as it gains increasing acceptance as digital gold. Furthermore, we are energized by the growing global acceptance and institutionalization of Bitcoin, reflected most recently by the SEC in January of 2024 approval of 11 Bitcoin ETFs. These funds have reported more than $13 billion of net inflows with investments from nearly 1,000 institutions. And so they're doing effectively what MicroStrategy has proof of concepted already, that you can put Bitcoin on your balance sheet, that this is a store of value, that there are right times to buy into this, but in the general scheme of these companies and the overall health of these companies for the longer term and sustainability, this is it. Guys, I worked for, some large corporations that there was no there was no rainy day fund. There was no sustainability of the business. It was all just day to day to day. And therefore, when the economy shut down, which I don't think that we'll see happen again probably in our lifetimes, but when that happened, most companies had nothing. They had nothing. They're literally paycheck to paycheck, just like most Americans, right? And this is not a sustainable business strategy to not have any ability to tap into an account to, invest in something if they don't have the resources to do it, or the sales or whatever, right? And sometimes sales just slow down, right, for whatever reason. And so these companies need to think about their sustainability for the longer term. And most companies have not, but I do think that the pandemic and the economic shutdown did cause a lot of companies to kind of reassess. And now we're starting to see them executing on that reassessment by putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And I think this is going to be one of many, whether they buy Bitcoin directly, like Semler Scientific, or whether they are going to purchase like the Bitcoin ETFs and derivative type products of Bitcoin ETFs. Anyway, a lot going on in crypto, as you guys can see, moving right along and getting a little bit more deeper into the crypto world outside of Bitcoin. Figure Markets and Parentera Capital snap up $2.6 billion in discounted Solana from FTX. Now, effectively, Figure Markets, they announced this a few months ago, but before we go there, Figure Markets effectively launched in 2018. Figure was born out of a desire to build different financial landscape powered by the transparency and efficiency of blockchain. They built their lending business to go radically different direction from the rest of the industry, one that turned out to be a fast track to the future. They're the first to originate, warehouse, and securitize consumer loans on blockchain. And so they're basically a financial type company. They said this a few months ago. They said Figure Markets intends to compete in the upcoming Solana auctions from the FTX estate. We believe this is an attractive opportunity and invite the community to join. Now, keep in mind, we're going to get to this in a few minutes with the Mt. Gox situation, but these companies that need to offload these large sums of crypto, they have been doing it, right? We know FTX, Celsius, Voyager, Genesis, they have been selling directly to the Bitcoin ETFs. And as we've explained, all these Bitcoin ETFs, from BlackRock to Fidelity, they're effectively bailing out all of these retail investors who had money on these platforms. If it wasn't for these Bitcoin ETFs getting approved, most of this crypto probably would have been dumped on the market, or just kind of delayed and until they figured out a buyer. But now that Wall Street's involved, Wall Street can kind of scoop up all of that crypto and buy it. And this is what we're seeing happening with the Solana as well. But keep in mind, they're buying it at significantly discounted rates from what we're seeing today. So according to sources, Figure Markets acquired a block of 800,000 tokens for approximately $80 million. This translates to $102 per Solana coin, significantly lower than the market price of $168. This discount reflects the urgency of FTX's liquidation efforts and the market's response to this sale. Effectively, this is not that surprising. I mean, when FTX went down, Solana, I don't know, where was Solana? Let's take a look. FTX went down in the end of 2022, so that was right about here. So yeah, it was in the sub $100 range, right, for most of 2022 at least. So even if they were not to have gone down, or customers had their funds back then, it would have still been at a lower price. And the reason that they're giving a discount is because they want somebody, or they want a company, to buy up these coins off market, off chain, I guess you could say. But if they put all these coins on the open market, this would plummet the price almost instantly. So by doing this auction and allowing them to buy it at significantly lower prices than where we currently are, but still higher than where they were at the bankruptcy, this allows the company to recoup their customer funds and potentially give them a little bit more and pay for the legal fees and all of that. So this is not that big of a surprise to me, but what we're starting to see is the end to all of this overhang of these coins that potentially were going to hit the market. And that overhang of these coins potentially would have crashed the market or kept it stable because of the uncertainty about where it was going to go. Now, let me skip around a little bit because I put Mt. Gox stuff towards the end because, guys, we've been hearing about this since I started learning about crypto. They've been talking about Mt. Gox going to be dumping their coins on the market. I honestly don't know why we continue to hear about Mt. Gox and why Mt. Gox has not released any of these coins to the people that they're owed the coins from Mt. Gox's hack. Because at the end of the day, guys, they've literally said this almost every single year. Oh my God, Mt. Gox is going to dump their coins. Mt. Gox is going to dump their coins. Well, end of May 2024, Mt. Gox moved at least $2.9 billion in Bitcoin for the first time in 5 years. They transferred at least 43,000 Bitcoin to unknown addresses, according to Arkham Intelligence. This is the first time in five years. And by the way, it says an update is the transactions transferred is now almost $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. And so people are wondering, like, are they going to dump this on the market? Are they going to start distributing it? Honestly, guys, I don't know. And honestly, I don't really care. Right? I don't care, because even if they dump it on the market, what do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin? Bitcoin is going to dump for a little bit, which maybe we're already starting to see, from 70,000 to 67,000, and people are going to freak out. And then probably a few weeks later, everything's going to be back to normal, right? Because again, we're seeing Wall Street buying up large quantities of Bitcoin. Countries around the world are looking at Bitcoin as reserve currency status, as store of value status, as a potential hedge against the inflation of the dollar. So there are going to be buyers, especially when the bull market really starts to take off, if it ever happens, right? We're going to see a lot of money moving into Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related products. And so if Bitcoin is being dumped on the market the same way that Wall Street bailed out Celsius, Genesis, FTX, and all of these other bankrupt companies and their crypto, I think the same thing is going to happen here with Mt. Gox. So am I really that worried about Mt. Gox moving coins? Not really. I mean, literally, just look at the history. It happens every year. Oh my God, is Mt. Gox going to release the coins now? It's like, if they were going to release the coins, they would have released them already, right? We're already like 10 years since Mt. Gox had the issue. Anyway, moving on to other cryptos, and as the title of the video, Internet Computer, Aptos, and Near are winning. Now, part of the winning is what we've been discussing on this channel for a while, right? USDC. This is the key. The House just passed a bill to ban CBDCs. Whether that gets passed into law or not, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, because USDC is already the digital dollar of the US. Circle is coming back to the United States. Circle is going to become a publicly traded company. Circle is the most widely distributed stablecoin in the US, with a direct line into the Federal Reserve, right? They are involved in the reverse repo operations. They have a direct line to the Federal Reserve, to Congress, to the banking industry. And they're well diversified throughout crypto. And so this is why I've been saying for years at this point, any crypto that does not have USDC is in immense trouble right now. That doesn't mean that they're going to stay in that trouble and they can't get USDC. But I'm not talking about bridged USDC. I'm not talking about chain key USDC. I'm talking about natively issued USDC. Because this is Circle issuing the coins, monitoring the coins. And listen, there's crypto communities out here like Cardano, where a lot of the community say, but Cryptoviser, we don't need USDC because USDC can be frozen. It's like, you completely lost the plot of like what this whole thing is about, right? Because if you want to be in a silo, and we're about to be talking about some celebrities shilling shit coins, if you want to be like that, where they have no stable coins, they have no liquidity, they have no regulatory oversight that people trust, and getting the companies and Wall Street and ETFs to get approved. I mean, I literally see comments where people are like, oh, when do you think Cardano's going to get an ETF now that Ethereum is approved? At this point, the answer is never, right? And anybody who's telling you different is lying and being disingenuous. And it's really sad, and it really pisses me off, because listen, guys, the reason I started this channel was to help educate people on my journey learning about the financial world. Because back in 2017 and 2018, I lost a lot of money because I had no idea. And I believed all these influencers to say, oh, just buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And I kept buying the dip until I was 99% down in my portfolio, or whatever the number was, right? But significantly down. And then I said, whoa, I need to understand what the hell this market is doing and why this market is this way. And one of the things that I've learned over the last few years is that USDC is key. I may not agree with it. I may not like it. I may not even want to use USDC. But at the end of the day, if it's not integrated onto the platforms that I love, that platform is going to be gatekept from growing to the levels and maintaining its position in the top 10. And people who say, but they can freeze the coin, who fucking cares? Seriously, who fucking cares? The people who care, they want to stay poor, apparently, or they want you to stay poor, because when you buy the coin that they're telling you, oh, don't worry about USDC, we don't need USDC, they're going to be cashing out. And so it's really disingenuous and it's dishonest in my view. And so, listen, I'm not saying I don't invest in coins that don't have USDC, because I do, but these are trades, right? I don't think that the coins without USDC can win, okay? And the data shows us that is true. Near protocol, in direct competition with internet computer. I mean, literally Near protocol copied chain key cryptography from internet computer protocol, right? And again, going back to like the Bitcoin mining companies, the fact that Riot wanted to buy BitFarms tells me BitFarms is a good company, because why would they try to buy it if it wasn't a good company? So the same way that Near protocol is copying internet computer tells me that internet computer's technology is really good, because otherwise why would they copy it? But here's the deal. Near is a little bit ahead of internet computer. And personally, I don't even think I own Near. Maybe I do, I don't know. I haven't bought any recently that I can remember. There's so much going on in crypto. It's very hard to like keep track of every single position, but I am more bullish personally on internet computer protocol. But there's a huge issue, is that internet computer does not have native USDC. Now, maybe they're working on this. And as I've stated before, you know, internet computer is Dfinity, which is the main like development company behind internet computer. They are a Swiss-based company, so maybe they don't need it or want it. That's possible. But based on what I've seen, and I'm still gathering more info on this, but it seems like internet computer does have on the roadmap that they want to integrate native USDC through the CCTP, which is the cross-chain interoperability protocol ecosystem that Circle has. So they are, I think, working on it, and I think it's inevitable eventually that they will get it. I haven't seen anything from Dfinity or Dominic or any of the main engineers that they don't want it. Very different than Cardano, that's like, no, we don't want USDC. Because again, back in January, some influencers and engineers and developers in the Cardano ecosystem started to propose, let's get USDC on Project Catalyst to get funding to get this done. And they were pushed back, almost like just shut down almost instantly. And Catalyst Fund 12, which is ongoing right now, which is basically their grant program to pay out 50 million ADA to develop the blockchain. Nothing about USDC once again. So again, they don't want USDC. There's nothing to indicate to me that internet computer doesn't want USDC. In fact, it seems like they do, and they're actively working towards that. So we'll see if it actually does happen or not. But again, these protocols here on Circle's website that have native USDC issuance, these are the ones to watch. These are the ones to hold for the long term, in my view, not financial advice. And so Near protocol surpasses $200 million in natively issued USDC. I mean, how can you argue that USDC is not going to be good for these protocols? $200 million. This is higher market cap than some cryptos. But like I said, Dfinity is still working on a lot of other type of interoperability protocols. And by the way, you can still access USDC on internet computer through chain key cryptography. It's not natively issued, and I believe natively issued is superior to any other stable coin, bottom line. You may disagree with me, and that's fine, but that's my opinion, right? But now we're seeing that Dfinity saying that internet computer smart contracts now work with any EVM or Ethereum virtual machine. So effectively, Internet Computer is on Ethereum, and Ethereum is on Internet Computer. Dfinity announced that it's launching a new API that allows Internet Computer smart contracts to be read and written on by the Ethereum virtual machine. They said, quote, Internet Computer smart contracts can now communicate with an EVM chain. This means dApps can benefit from cross-chain liquidity, merging communities, and simplifies handling API keys. They said, we've added Optimism, Arbitrum, Base, but anyone can add other EVMs anytime. The VP of Growth at Dfinity added that the Internet Computer smart contracts have already worked with Bitcoin and Ethereum on projects like Bionic, Bitfinity, and Omnity. We've covered those on previous videos. Go check out my older videos if you want to see that. And by the way, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the video an absolutely free thumbs up, because USDC is not free, but thumbs up are always free. Anyway, to move further to increase interoperability across Internet Computer and other blockchains as part of Dfinity's Chain Fusion initiative. This organization, which is the main contributor to the Internet Computer, said that Internet Computer will soon be able to interact with the Solana blockchain according to their statement. And I completely agree. Chief Scientist Dominic Williams considers Internet Computer the only third-generation blockchain capable of powering a new internet era where all online activity is completely on-chain. Now, Dominic's definition of third-generation blockchain and my definition of third-generation blockchain are different, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm looking at how these blockchains rolled out, but in terms of technological abilities, yeah, Dominic is 100% accurate that there's no other blockchain that came out around the same time as Internet Computer that can do as much as Internet Computer. Maybe Solana, because Solana is a little bit ahead in the adoption curve, but a lot of that is because of the venture capital that was pumped into Solana versus ICP. But I think that's going to change as more people see the abilities of Internet Computer. We haven't even seen the narrative this cycle just yet, like we saw last cycle for Storj, Filecoin, and those kind of cloud-based compute type of technologies. But we are going to get there because, like I said, Internet Computer and Near Protocol, these two are competing. These are like Ethereum and Solana are competing. Dfinity's Internet Computer and Near Protocol are competing. I shouldn't say Dfinity. Internet Computer is not Dfinity's. They're just the main contributor. But you guys kind of get the point. They're both able to process AI compute data, which is the most underrated ability in blockchain, because most blockchains cannot do it. I don't even think Solana can compute AI. And the other ones that need, like Ethereum and Polygon and Avalanche, like they're not even able to do that either. I think that we're going to see Near Protocol, Internet Computer, and Render Protocol doing really well. And listen, I don't even own some of these coins that we're talking about. Again, I like to diversify my portfolio, but that doesn't mean that I'm owning every single coin, right? During the bear market, I thought it was a good idea to own, 50, 60, 70 coins. But now that we're in the bull market, I don't know how this bull market is going to be, right? I really don't. I mean, this cup and handle looks good in Bitcoin over the 3-year period. But when we're talking about all these other coins, like, I don't know. 2023 kind of was an odd year. I thought that we were going to see much higher prices mid-year. And we saw a lot of the movement in the end of the year into this year, 2024. And we saw most of the moves before the Bitcoin halving. Now we're after the Bitcoin halving. And while Bitcoin is still higher than it was last year, we haven't really seen an adjustment just yet. But I think we will. But how long we're going to see that adjustment going on, I don't know. Maybe we're just going to see up only over the next few years as more institutions buy into crypto and, they go from Ethereum, and then they're going to probably do a Solana ETF and an XRP ETF, maybe a Polygon ETF. And, we're going to see a lot more diversification into different altcoin cryptos. Which ones they're going to choose, which ones are going to do well, I don't know. But I think overall the general market is going to do well. But these coins need to perform. Because now that Wall Street's involved, Wall Street is about results. They're not about talking, right? So if a CEO says, oh, this is what we're going to do by next year, and by next year they don't do that, or their results don't show positive momentum, the CEO is gone. They fire the CEO and the stock will plummet. So, some of these coins that we talk about, they're not up to par. They are just not up to par. And we're in the bull market, guys. Like, you have to look at your portfolio. Like, you have 16 months to 18 months to make life-changing money in this cycle. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in positions until next cycle. That's okay if you believe in the long-term, trajectory of crypto. But at the end of the day, these markets go in ebbs and flows. And we know that, right? It's not just crypto, it's the stock market as well. We've talked about Bitcoin mining companies. We've talked about cannabis type companies. These go up, down, up, down. Tech, up, down, up, down. A lot of the market is people are like, well, the market keeps going up. It's like, yeah, but it's only concentrated in some of these mega stocks. And do I want to be invested in mega stocks? Not really, because they keep going up, but if they crash, they're going to crash hard. Anyway, Near Protocol, Internet Computer Protocol, and Aptos. Now, Aptos we've talked about a lot. I haven't yet kind of dove into Aptos as an investment, but I do think it's going to perform fairly well. In the last video I did, it was called Buying Aptos. I think Aptos was above $10, and now it's not. Where is Aptos? And by the way, I don't think I put it in this video, but Grayscale just did I did not put it in this video. Grayscale just created a Stacks ETF and another ETF. I forgot. I'm going to be making a video about that. But yeah, if you look at Aptos, my video that I made this year, it was called Buying Aptos, and Aptos was like, I think $11, and now I said I was going to start buying it under 10, and we went under 10. But are we going to see a floor? Are we going to keep moving up? I don't know. I'm not just in it just yet. But Aptos, look at the on-chain metrics. According to Aptos Scan, on May 24, the number of Aptos user transactions in a single day reached 97.5 million, hitting a record high, breaking the previous layer 1 records of more than 65 million set by the SWI network. Aptos user transactions per second reached 27,000 that day. Also a record high, mainly related to Tapos, a game where you earn rewards by tapping the screen. Those are quite annoying games. But anyway, Coin Analytics said Aptos surpasses Solana and leads with 57 million daily transactions a few days after that record. And you can see Aptos, Solana, SWI. What blockchain do you not see on here? Figure it out. And this is altcoins, by the way. If you go to Aptos Scan, you could see total number of transactions total is just about 1 billion. Transactions per second, all time is 19.5. But if we kind of zero in user transactions per second and we look at, we can't zoom in. No, we can't. You could see here, we had a big increase, right? User TPS was 331 per second in May 20th, and that jumped up to 4,600 transactions per second on May 22, 27,000 on May 23, 32,000 on May 24. So obviously the transaction throughput is significantly higher than many other blockchains out here. And keep in mind, the transactions per second metric can only really be tested based on volume. So if nobody's actually using the blockchain, it's very hard to test this. I remember back in 2023 or 2022, I said that Cardano should stress test the network to prove that it can actually process thousands of transactions per second, which is what the community says. Do you think they did a stress test on the network to test that and prove it? Well, the answer is no. We can see here the daily user transactions was at almost 100 million on May 23rd, and that's significantly lower than it's higher than basically at or just below 1 million per day for the rest of the year. So big numbers coming out of Aptos, right? And that's from one game launching. Think about what's going to be happening when there's more integrations, more usage, potentially more volume in the bull market, right? And so Does Aptos have USDC? Not just yet, but do I think that Aptos will have USDC? Highly likely, highly likely. And so, yeah, USDC is key. Internet Computer, Aptos, and Near, I think these are all going to be huge winners. And this, as we're hearing, Uniswap Foundation shares their balance sheet as the fee vote nears. So this is interesting. As of the end of Q1, the Uniswap Foundation held $41.5 million in fiat and stable coins and 730,000 Uniswap tokens. The foundation committed $4.3 million in new grants, dispersing $2.7 million previously, and designated the Uni token for employee rewards. And so this is just interesting to get a little bit of a glimpse into what their funding looks like and also what their runway is going to be. Because keep in mind, they have high costs to run the nodes, to hire developers, to buy new hardware and research and development. This all costs money. So although that these companies are somewhat decentralized, they also have a foundation which is somewhat of a centralized entity. Now, this stuff, I really have no idea what the hell is going on, right? There is Iggy Azalea, who is a pop artist. She distanced herself from an alleged scammer's $300,000 meme coin. And I don't even know, like, why are these celebrities getting into meme coins to begin with, right? Guys, just focus on the big coins, the USDC-based coins, and I think that's going to be huge winners, right? Diversified portfolio. But a new celebrity meme coin by an alleged serial scammer raised over $300,000 in a token pre-sale, carrying the name of the Australian musician Iggy Azalea. Posts from Azalea's X account distanced the artist from this pre-sale of the coin, while adding that a crypto project had been planned. She said, basically, I was interested in making a legit coin with utility, but this person, the developer, tried it and thought I wouldn't see his weirdo little pre-sale Telegram shit. The Australian rapper reportedly quit Twitter last year to escape bad vibes, and came back to kind of talk about what is going on here with this developer of the coin or whatever. This brings us to Caitlyn Jenner joining Rich the Kid, alleging they were scammed also by the same person that Iggy Azalea is talking about as well, but will continue to promote and invest in the Jenner token. So an American media personality, Caitlyn Jenner, has become the latest celebrity to accuse meme coin collaborator of having scammed them following a series of bizarre celebrity token launches in May. Caitlyn Jenner said, F this person, he scammed us big time. There's the tweet. The controversial token launch attracted plenty of attention as the market cap rose to $43 million in 24 hours, but it's since fallen significantly since then. Despite the fallout with the coin, Jenner iterated that it doesn't mean they won't continue to invest in and promote the Jenner coin. Caitlyn Jenner said, Jenner isn't going anywhere but up, but the developer appears to be fully out at the moment. Now, here's the deal, guys, right? We're not even in, I mean, maybe this is, typically, this is what I would say. Typically, when I would see like Iggy Azalea and Caitlyn Jenner like launching their own meme coins, typically this is top signal, right? This like ridiculous like coins that nobody's going to invest in and that are really not doing anything. This is typically toppish behavior. So there's a potential that we're not going higher, but I think that we're still so early in the cycle. This is a preview. It's a preview of what we're going to see in the cycle. And so this is what I say at every cycle. Listen, you have to do your own due diligence. If you really believe that a coin, Iggy Azalea posts or Caitlyn Jenner, whoever, if you really believe that you want to support the artist and you want to buy their coin that way or buy their NFT, like go for it. But keep in mind that most of these are not time tested. Most of these are money grabs. Most of these are really for self-promotion, right? And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It's the same thing like selling a shirt, right? You're selling an NFT or you're selling a coin. to your fans to show their loyalty and support for you. I get it. But most people who are watching my videos, you guys are here to secure your financial future, make sure you have a retirement, support your family, pay off your mortgage, like things like this, right? Like really like secure your financial future. I mean, I think that's the overarching thing. All of that other shit is noise. It's all noise. And that's it. I mean, that's the message. It's noise. Ignore it. You can read about it, laugh about it, follow it, but it's noise. The real money is going to be made here. The real money is going to be made with the Bitcoin mining companies. The real money is going to be made with MicroStrategy and Coinbase. That's what I believe. Yield max ETFs. I just read that there's another, we're going to do a video about that as well. There's another kind of yield max type company that's going to be, I think it's called Yield Boost, where they're going to be doing the same thing that Yield Max does, which is sell covered call options on stocks and distribute dividends to their investors. This is where you can make money. You can make money in the stock market. You can make money in the crypto market. You can even make money in the NFT market and in the meme coin market. But everything else is just noise. It just is noise. All these coins that say, oh, this is what we're going to do. Oh, Cryptoviser, didn't you see that, our metrics are actually different than what the metric site said? Guy, it's noise. And as I've explained, Ripple can say all that they want, that XRP is going to run the world. But why are they selling their coins? Cardano can say that they're going to change the world and that everybody is just misunderstanding Cardano. Then why don't they have USDC? Why are they distributing 50 million coins before Voltaire, before the governance phase goes into existence? The billionaires are saying Solana is the key, Solana is the best. What have they built on it? Now, some of them have built stuff on it, so don't get that twisted. But you guys kind of get the point, right? The billionaires are running and controlling Solana. Do I want to own that coin? Probably not. The billionaires, the pension funds, the retirement funds, companies are putting it on their balance sheet, Bitcoin. Do I want to own that? Hell yeah. Is MicroStrategy going to start buying Ethereum as well? Highly likely. These are the money makers. Everything else is just noise. And so with that, let me know what you guys think down below. Everything that I say in these videos is just my opinion. So keep that in mind. You could have a different opinion than me, and that's fine. You could agree to disagree. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments of this video. Don't forget to give the video a free thumbs up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Crypto on.